You walk into a cinema. The smell of popcorn hits you. You step up to the counter and see three sizes. Small $5, medium $7, large $7.50. You do the maths instantly. For just 50 cents more than the medium, you get the massive bucket. What a deal! You confidently order the large, feeling smart, feeling like you beat the system. But here is the uncomfortable truth. You did not beat anything. You were played. And you have been played like this thousands of times before, without ever knowing it. This is called the decoy effect, and it is one of the most powerful forces shaping your decisions every single day. From what you buy, to who you date, to where you work, to how you vote. A hidden third option is quietly controlling your choices, and your brain does not even realize it is happening. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you understand it, you stop being the victim and start being the one in control. Let me show you how it works. The decoy effect was first discovered by researchers studying how people make choices between two options. They found something strange. When people were given a choice between two items, their preferences were fairly balanced. Some chose A. Some chose B. But when a third option was introduced, something shifted. Suddenly, one of the original options became far more popular. Not because it was better, because the third option made it look better by comparison. The third option was never meant to be chosen. It was a decoy, designed to push you toward the option the seller actually wanted you to pick. This is not a theory. This is a proven psychological bias that has been studied, tested, and exploited for decades. And it works on almost everyone, including you. Let us go back to the cinema. The medium popcorn at $7 is the decoy. It is not there because the cinema expects you to buy it. It is there to make the large look like incredible value. You were never comparing small and large. You were comparing medium and large. And that comparison made the large feel like a steal. The cinema knew exactly what they were doing. They placed the medium there to change your perception of the large. And it worked. You walked away feeling smart. They walked away with your money. And you never even noticed. Now let us look at a different example. Imagine you are shopping for a coffee machine. You see two options. One costs $100. The other costs $200. You are not sure which one to pick. The cheaper one seems fine, but the expensive one looks better. You hesitate. Then the store introduces a third option. A coffee machine for $190. It is almost identical to the $200 one, but slightly worse. Suddenly, the $200 machine looks amazing. For just $10 more, you get the premium version. The $190 option was the decoy. It was never meant to sell. It was meant to push you toward the expensive one. And it worked again. This happens in restaurants all the time. Look at any wine list. You will see a cheap bottle, a mid-range bottle, and an expensive bottle. The mid-range bottle is often the decoy. It makes the expensive bottle seem reasonable. Nobody is buying the mid-range wine. They are buying the expensive one, feeling like they made a sophisticated choice. But they were guided there. Carefully, quietly, and it gets even more personal than that. Think about dating apps. You swipe through profiles. You see someone attractive, but you are not sure. Then you see someone less attractive right next to them. Suddenly, the first person looks much better. That less attractive profile is not there by accident. It is there to make the other person seem more desirable. You are being nudged. You are being compared. And you are being manipulated. This is why job offers often include a lowball offer, a mid-range offer, and a high offer. They want you to pick the high one, but they need you to feel like you chose it yourself. So they anchor you with the low one, distract you with the mid one, and guide you toward the high one. You accept the job feeling great about your negotiation skills. They saved money by making you think you won. The decoy effect works because humans are terrible at absolute value. We do not evaluate things on their own merit. We evaluate things by comparing them to other things. Is this worth it? We do not know. Is this better than that? We know immediately. Our brains are wired for comparison. It is faster. It is easier. It is how we survived as a species. But in the modern world, that wiring is being exploited. Marketers know that if they give you a clear comparison, you will stop thinking critically. You will stop asking, do I actually need this? You will ask, is this better than that? And once you ask that question, you are already inside their trap. The decoy effect is so powerful that it even works when the decoy is completely useless. In one famous study, researchers offered people a subscription to The Economist. The options were these: online only for $59, print only for $125, print and online for $125. Nobody chose the print-only option. It was clearly a terrible deal. But here is the thing. When the print-only option was removed, most people chose the online-only option for $59. With the decoy present, most people chose the print and online option for $125. The useless decoy changed everything. It made the combined option look like a bargain. And people fell for it every single time. This is not a weakness. This is how the human brain works. But understanding it is the first step to protecting yourself. Now let us talk about how this affects your relationships. Have you ever been in a situation where you were comparing two potential partners? And suddenly, a third person entered the picture and made one of them seem much more attractive. That is the decoy effect at work. Your brain does not evaluate people in isolation. It evaluates them relative to others. And when a decoy appears, it shifts your perception completely. This is why some people stay in bad relationships. They compare their partner to someone worse and think, well, at least they are not that bad. But that is the decoy effect tricking you. The decoy is making the bad option look acceptable. You are not evaluating the relationship on its own merit. You are evaluating it against something worse. And that is a dangerous way to make decisions. The same thing happens with your career. You compare your job to your friend's job. Your friend has a worse boss, longer hours, less pay. Suddenly, your job looks great. But is it actually great? Or is it just better than the decoy? The decoy effect makes you settle. It makes you accept mediocrity because you are comparing it to something worse. But the real question is not, is this better than that? The real question is this good enough on its own? Most people never ask that question. They just keep comparing. And they keep getting tricked. Now let us talk about politics. This might be the most dangerous place the decoy effect shows up. Imagine an election with three candidates. Candidate A is moderate. Candidate B is extreme. Candidate C is even more extreme. Candidate C is the decoy. They are not there to win. They are there to make candidate B seem reasonable. By comparison, the extreme candidate looks like a safe choice. This happens in elections all over the world. The decoy candidate shifts the entire debate. They make extreme positions seem normal. They make moderate positions seem radical. And voters walk away thinking they made a free choice. But they were guided. Carefully. Quietly. And they never even realized. So how do you beat the decoy effect? The first step is to recognize it. Every time you see three options, ask yourself, Which one is the decoy? Which one is designed to make another option look better? Usually, the decoy is the option that is slightly worse than another option, but priced very close to it. It exists only to push you toward the expensive choice. The second step is to compare the options to nothing. Ignore the decoy entirely. Ask yourself, is this option worth it on its own? Not compared to something else. Not compared to the fancy version. Not compared to the terrible version. On its own. Is it worth the price? Is it worth your time? Is it worth your energy? If the answer is no, walk away. The third step is to ask yourself what the seller wants. What are they trying to get you to buy? Once you know that, you can see the trap clearly. The seller wants you to pick the high-priced option. Everything else is designed to push you there. Knowing that gives you power. You can still choose the high-priced option if it genuinely gives you value. But at least you are choosing it consciously, not because you were tricked. The fourth step is to practice. The decoy effect is everywhere. Once you start looking for it, you will see it constantly. In supermarkets, in phone plans, in hotel rooms, in gym memberships, in software subscriptions. It is everywhere. And every time you spot it, you get a little better at resisting it. Over time, it becomes automatic. You stop being the victim. You start being the one in control. Now let us bring this back to where we started. That cinema popcorn. The medium was the decoy. You thought you were smart. You thought you found the deal. But the cinema knew exactly what they were doing. They guided your hand. They shaped your perception. They controlled your choice. And you never even noticed. But now you know. Now you see the invisible force that has been shaping your decisions your whole life. And next time you are faced with three options, you will pause. You will look for the decoy. You will make a choice that belongs to you. Because the most important decision is not which option to pick. It is whether you let someone else choose for you. And now you are in control.